Be good now. Mwah! Hi, everybody. Leather Rock here. And this is my tabby boy. Welcome to my channel. The light's a little off. One of the lights, the plug doesn't work. I'll have to fix that later. So, today is going to be a video where I don't even really know what the ultimate subject's going to be till whatever the title ends up being. I want to get real with you guys. Not that I think I'm ever not, but there are different degrees of how much you feel like sharing with people, and there's things that have really been bugging me lately, especially in light of the coronavirus that's going on. Things bother me, such as things I see outside should not be, things that are even going on in my home that should not be. And I don't, as a rule, talk too much about what's going on in my personal life, but I'll be honest with you, I've really been having a tough couple of days. This coronavirus can definitely impact a person's mental health. Matter of fact, I think that's what the primary topic is going to be. How this coronavirus is affecting people emotionally, how it is straining their personal relationships, how it's affecting their way of life and the adjustments that they have to make to stay safe, and the frustration that we all feel when we can't get others around us to cooperate, when there are so many selfish people that they're so wrapped up in their own immediate needs, perhaps, and so bent on preserving their freedoms that they don't stop to think about the repercussions of what they do and how it might hurt the people around them. And I'm seeing that more and more. Maybe it's just a human nature thing. I'm filming this actually in a normal time, 5:59 p.m. on a Monday. Hopefully this is going to be what you guys are going to see Tuesday, my regular post day. And the reason why I'm waiting till right now to film is because, to be honest with you, there's a part of me that my heart is hardly in it right now, and I need to have something for you guys. I don't want to make another makeup tutorial. I'm kind of almost sick of doing makeup for people. It's not that it's not something I enjoy, but it just doesn't seem all that important in the grand scheme of things right now. And yet, people who are maybe watching too much coronavirus news, maybe they come to YouTube for a break from that. So in which case, if I'm not talking about something nice and light, then maybe you guys are looking for an escape. Then you're not going to want this because you're figuring if I want to hear the coronavirus scary stuff, all I have to do is turn on the news. Now, if you do turn on the news for your coronavirus information, I do suggest Fox News Channel because they are telling you a lot more truth than the liberal media. But that said, all right, Tabby, will you want me to put you down? Do you want me to put you down? Oh, I will put you down. All right, but I got my door barricaded so he can't leave. This coronavirus thing, I don't have any mental issues, even though there are some things in my family. My brother's bipolar, and he and I have had a very strained relationship, like, since the year I first went out to California. There's like almost 8 years difference between my brother and myself, and so he was still a little kid when I went out to LA, and I guess it must have seemed like I was abandoning the family. And then when I went and changed my name, I guess that was another thing that, even though that had absolutely nothing to do with my relationship with my family, it was a showbiz thing. But that said, with the coronavirus going on now, that is definitely creating a strain in my life, partly because it's so hard to get along with some people. It's hard to communicate with people. And if you have people that you're living with and not all of them are observing the CDC guidelines, if, for instance, you have a person you're living with that goes out almost every day, does not wear any protective gear, and what if this person brings the virus home? I don't know how healthy I am. I don't know if my immune system might be compromised with the dental work that I need. Maybe I'm just an infection waiting to happen. I don't know. And And I'm worried about my mother. What if, she is 79 years old? She should not be exposed to anybody that's out and about, whatever. The only time I leave the house anymore is when I go to stick my key in the mailbox. I don't go out to physical stores. Any shopping I feel I need to do is online. I don't need to get any food or anything because I got food before all this shit went down. So there's no real need for me to leave the house. Tabby boy, stop it. Stop it. You're not getting out. And you got a box if you want to do something. So my cat, I love my cats. They don't hang out in my room too much anymore. At nighttime, they sleep down the hall. I don't want to get into another World War III going and trying to retrieve them in somebody else's room. God forbid. Don't want a world, a national calamity. With this coronavirus stuff going on and looking out my window and seeing such a lack of concern about this, yes, there are more people wearing some face coverings and things, but for the most part, the dirt balls of the neighborhood are out and about. They're still selling drugs. They're still hanging out up on each other. It's a fairly nice day out, and there's a lot of people just wearing t-shirts out. They're sitting on stoop across the street, right up against each other. And I wanted to film about an hour ago, and I couldn't because I hear you. Because there was some guys hanging out on the corner, and one of them has this tiny little, it's a boom box, but looked like a woman's purse, actually. Not that there's anything wrong with that. And it had really, really loud, obnoxious, hideous lyric rap music. Every other word was vile things that I prefer not to say, because somebody might be offended because I'm a white person and I can't say that word. Well, first of all, a word is just a word. I'll say any fucking thing I want. Second of all, I didn't film when I wanted to because I don't want a copyright strike. Tabby boy, what are you doing? Or what are you doing? If you go on there, I will think about spanking your butt. They always, you an upstager. Hold on a second, I'm gonna get my cat. Come here. Come here. Oh, no, you don't. No, you don't. No, I'm bringing you over here. Sorry about that. But this coronavirus has changed things so much between the people acting like it's business as usual. And I'm so afraid that we're going to get hit hard here with all the people and it's mostly the youngest, but not always. There's people, even old, elderly people that think it's much ado about nothing. There are sometimes when I go to check my mail, I have to tell people to get away from my door so I could pass it. And sometimes I wish I had a big stick and I could just go swinging at people. It's bringing out my inner ugly. I don't want to be this jerk. I really don't. And I don't want to be upset. I don't want to be crying half the day. I'm not having a good time, people. And I know that nobody tunes into people's YouTube channels to hear them whine and complain, and I know that I have it better than a lot of people, but still, when I thought that with this coronavirus, most people were going to stay at home, and because they want to break from TV news, they're going to be turning to YouTube for more of their entertainment. Well, I look in my stats, and I don't see it. If anything, I don't think... I don't know how the other YouTubers are doing, depending on what their content is, but I'm seeing so much apathy, and that's what's really got me depressed. Between the people that act like there's nothing wrong and they're out spreading diseases, and the apathy I'm witnessing, I'm considering leaving a couple of the social networks that I am on. One of them is this really vile one named... Oh, yeah, you're going to bite me? Look, I got a biter here. There's this really vile social network called Spreely.com. I was never going to name them by name, but there was a video that I made a couple years ago about some extreme bullying going on a new kind of sort of political social network. Well, Spreely is what I was referring to, and the bullies are out in force even more than ever. I have never heard so many insults about my physical appearance, people picking me apart, calling me all kinds of names, and I don't even post makeup tutorials anymore. I was posting political things. I was posting my coronavirus updates and having people make fun of my eyebrows, make fun of my hair, make fun of different things about the way I dress, saying that, oh, who's going to take you seriously because you have purple hair? And it's like, what do I have to do to prove myself to those jerks? I mean, I was invited to that site when I was in Washington, D.C., at one of many political gatherings I went to. And I know sometimes you kind of have to prove yourself and earn respect. I try to treat people the way I want to be treated. I hardly ever post there, but occasionally I post, and the hatred is real. People calling me euphemisms for working girls, people, calling me Groucho Marx, people, the clown insults, all the things that makeup lovers typically hear. Tabby boy, what? Do you want me to let you out? You're not going to go out to go to the bathroom. You're going to go down his end. I'm tired of you. Don't want to be with me anymore. What is this? You don't want to be with me? Fine. Go away. Be like everybody else. Fine. Goodbye. Bye bye. If I drop dead, he'll take you anyway. It's really getting to me. I finally started getting back at some of my bullies on that site, and I let loose with invectives that would make a sailor blush. I was inventing new curse words and insulting their mothers and using every filthy insult I could think of. And I mean, I was really trying to be mean. And I don't like being that person, but there's only so much abuse a person can take, and the fact that that's a site that prides itself on free speech. Now, I believe in free speech. I love our Constitution. I love my country. That said, almost every social network, including the ones that I'm not on, they have certain basic rules, and they restrict people who are deliberately trying to abuse other people. And when you bully people, when you dox them, when you cut apart their appearance and you basically make them feel like shit that they stepped in, and you tell the administrators and they do nothing about it. And okay, I'm not a person that cares what other people think, and I know that I have a couple enemies from high school that like to watch my videos here, and you guys can suck this. Fuck you. I mean, but I wrote to the administrator and I said, this has been going on, and I'm this close to leaving the group, but I want to give a final fuck you to everybody first. And I said, I am a YouTuber, and I never named the site by name, but maybe you're forcing my hand. So I'm going to tell you guys, if you're watching me, and if any of you pay any attention to anything I say, I think a few of you do, if supposing you are on a political side, and supposing you are a Republican, and Spreely is mostly Republicans, okay, but they are full of really vile, disgusting, rude people. Men will abuse women just as easily as women do. They will pick apart your body. They will pick apart your hair. They'll pick apart your makeup. And it's funny, they act a lot like liberals do in that if you veer even one iota from the party line, like for instance, I'm pro-choice, and if I say anything supporting a woman's right to choose, they pick me apart, but mostly they pick apart me physically, and things which you shouldn't do in this day and age. You shouldn't do it at all. And I don't even want to admit that this is getting to me. But between that, the assholes in my neighborhood, and my fucking brother, who's also one of my roommates, by the way, he's an abusive son of a bitch. And I know that you shouldn't call your brother a son of a bitch because it's like you're calling your mother a bitch. But you know what? I can't be nice anymore. I could be, but I choose not to. I'm just tired of it. And then getting back to the apathy. Now, we're all supposed to be under lockdown. All these people that finally have time off work and time to be at home with their families or wherever, got all this time to watch all this content, and supposedly it was going to help YouTube creators. Well, maybe for some of the channels, they are. Let me close my door. I don't know if this coronavirus is really impacting YouTube channels that positively, at least looking at my own stats. If anything, my views are down. And so, I don't know what people want. I don't know if I should ask my current subscribers what kind of content they want, or whether I should ask the people who have not subbed yet, but maybe have seen 1 or 2 videos. Because if I want my channel to grow, I want not only to keep my current audience happy, but I want to keep more people happy. And I'm not saying I want millions and millions of subs. I don't think I have an entitlement complex. And I don't think I need a whole lot more humility learning, because if I had any major chips on my shoulder, most of them got knocked off when I was in California, when I was homeless, when I was going through the different struggles that you do just to survive. And but I look at my statistics, and when you get like 20 some views on a makeup video that's been out for a month, I'm thinking, what? Am I a fucking dog? What is it? What do you fucking people want? If I get political, especially if I talk positively about my man Donald J. Trump, then I realize when you get political, you're going to probably alienate half your audience, because anybody that's a Democrat thinks he's a jackass, and they say, I don't want this bitch talking about this guy that I hate. Okay. And yet, my political videos seem to do pretty well. So I am left really confused about just what kind of content to even make anymore, because like I said, I struggled so much yesterday thinking about what the subject of my next video was going to be. I just didn't feel like doing another makeup tutorial. Matter of fact, I didn't put any makeup on at all yesterday. I did my eyebrows and that was it. And today, I was thinking, who really cares about how many different ways you could put makeup on your face? Do you guys really care? There's always somebody that could do it better. You know, you could probably tune into some girl in her 20s with perfect skin and everything that maybe was born with a brush in her hand or something, or people that can afford all the high-end stuff. Maybe that's what you guys want. You know, I'm sorry, I can't help you with the big buck stuff. I don't get sponsorships. I cannot show you a window on a world that I'm not a part of. That would be disingenuous of me to do so. Matter of fact, if I was to hit the lottery tomorrow, and I don't really play, I play maybe once every couple of years. I don't throw my money around. Say I was though to hit the lottery, and all of a sudden I could afford the fancy stuff, the La Mer skincare, the jar of cream for $1,000, and the $50 lipstick from wherever. Then I would feel that I was alienating my original audience, because I would have changed the focus on my channel from how to live a rich, fun, maybe countercultural life without really having money to spend on it. I think if there's any cohesive focus on my channel, and I know that maybe the reason why my channel's not growing that well is because I'm too general, I'm not niche down, and I just don't know that I have the capability of confining myself to just a narrow focus. I am not wired that way, okay? Anymore, I cannot, there's a part of me that's very centrist. Like, as much as I'm a Republican, I'm very moderate. I'm not extremely right-wing. In many ways, I'm kind of in the middle on a lot of things, which I thought most people are kind of in the middle ground, on the middle road. And so this is making me think more and more about where is my channel going to go moving forward. I obviously care enough about personal integrity, and I care about making people happy. There are some of you who've stuck with me for 3, 4, 5 years, and I truly appreciate you. I don't want you to think that I've forgotten about you. And then there are the people that are discovering me more recently, partly because of some decent friends of mine have been sharing my posts, some on Facebook, some on other social media. Even though I am going to pare down my presence on certain social media, just because there's a part of me that feels if I don't have something positive to say, maybe I shouldn't say anything at all. Who wants to hear somebody whining and bitching and complaining? I would rather be a force of light. One of my subscribers said to me over a year ago a comment that really kind of touched my heart, and she said that I was, I'm probably butchering, I can only just paraphrase her, but she said I was a force of light of YouTube or something, or the bright spot of YouTube, or the light of YouTube or something. It was really sweet. And I remember, I think it was Amanda Workman that said that. Hi, lady, thank you. That was, you remember how people make you feel. And just like I remember the really mean insults that some people have said, of course, those worst comments I never posted. That's why I have my comments sent to moderation. I've even had old classmates of mine that tried to dox me, but since I have to approve comments, if something is said right away that nobody has a right to say, somebody, a matter of fact, there was on another social network, somebody even where I was only using a username, somebody actually went and put my name on there and totally violated my privacy. There's a lot of really evil people out there that anything they could do to hurt somebody. And, rather than leave myself vulnerable to those things, I have to put certain protections in place. So that's why I moderate my comments. But I feel like I'm in a crossroads right now where, I almost wasn't going to film today. I was almost thinking, would they notice if I missed my Tuesday's post? Would they notice if I missed a whole week? I have lost momentum on my channel when I had the tech issues, when the computer broke in Washington, D.C., and I had to save up money to get another one. And then I finally got that cheapo little Chromebook, and that lasted me, 3 months before it got all used up. And now I'm filming from my Lenovo ThinkPad, which is a real Windows machine, and that allows me to edit, and it has a whole terabyte of storage space and everything. But right now, I don't know what direction to keep on going, because I'm getting the feeling that maybe the makeup tutorials is played out. I don't know how much more I can offer in that regard, even though that as we speak, I'm waiting on a big box of goodies from Sephora. And I'm going to be playing around with that. And I'm going to show you a couple of looks with that. But that said, there's only so many color combinations a person can come up with. And one of the things I do find frustrating, especially with my kind of hooded eyes, when I put my makeup on and it's looking really good, and then I do the eyeliner on, and then I do the mascara, and then if the mascara is not waterproof, the mascara smudges. And this eyeliner, it started smudging underneath my eyes, and I had to fix that. And it's like your makeup shouldn't start to smear before you even get it put on. And usually in the past, I would always do my makeup, then I would go to the club, and then when I came home, then I would film the video. But since we're under quarantine, nobody with a lick of sense is going out. There's no clubs to go to, no casinos, no places to go dancing. Oh, unless I want to stand on the street corner and twerk along with the dirt bags. Yeah, there's crack dealers. There's a big fat woman who was literally doing the rump shaking move, and somebody had a boombox playing this "Bitch Better Have My Money" and a word that I'm really tempted to say, but I won't. And it got so bad I had to call the cops because it was like 4 a.m. What goes on here? I'm telling you, you can write a cheap, sleazy paperback book about the crap around here. I just don't know what my content should be going forward. Eventually this coronavirus will finally be over, hopefully, and we can get back to a normal life. And then what? There's people that are worried about, are we going to lose our civil liberties in a permanent way because of this? Even though there's a part of me that's thinking maybe we need to lose some, because people shouldn't feel free that they could disrupt people that are trying to sleep 3, 4 in the morning. I may be up, but most of the people around me aren't. And you got these people who may or may not live in this neighborhood. I don't know. There's a lot of people in this neighborhood, maybe most people in this neighborhood do not have cars. But people think that it's okay to carry a boombox and walk very slowly down streets, bothering people. And I have run out my door and I've screamed at them, and I'm afraid I'm going to come out there with a pipe, go and swing at somebody, and he's going to have a gun and he's going to shoot me dead. Even though in New Jersey you're not supposed to carry a gun unless you're a police officer, but criminals don't care about laws, only law-abiding citizens do. And maybe another reason why I'm antsy and miserable is because, let's be real here, I'm out of weed. Nobody has any weed. Unless you happen to have a cannabis medical card, the dispensaries are open. And of course they don't deliver, so the people that get get that sort of thing. They walk or take public transportation and they get the stuff. And because they don't have protective gear, they bring it home to their households where there might be senior citizens and people with compromised immune systems. Like, my brother does. Yeah, he's medical, you know. I could get medical if I wanted to in the state of California, but I wouldn't need to because it's fully legal there. And since there is no place I can't hang out with my friends who do get weed, I am quarantining myself. I have half of my friends are probably in those risky groups. So, and if they live in rooming houses or wherever they're living, everything is no visitors, and I sure don't want to go and violate things. I wouldn't want to. If I say I had it and I was asymptomatic and my friend's in his 60s or 70s or 80s, I don't want to pass to other people. I worry about my mother. There's people, I don't want to be a part of the problem, so I'm staying home. And so since I'm staying home trying to be good, and I'd smack somebody real hard for weed at this point. And drinking's not an option because I got sober in 2004. Hard drugs, I don't even want to think about. That I'm not tempted about in the least. And I'm not tempted about drinking because drinking is like the worst thing. That's the worst poison for me. I know it. That's why I don't do it anymore. But, there's no weed. I'm sure not going to go down to Popeyes where the gangs sell it, and I'm not getting a $10 bag, $5 bag that should only be sold for less than that. That's half twigs and stems. So I have no relief when I'm sad. What am I going to do? Hug myself? Hug my cats? And half the time I can't even hug my cats because they're down the hall. I'm not doing well, okay? And it's not because I'm watching too much news on TV. I would rather be informed. I want to know what's going on. If anything, that way I can try to let people know, look, you got to take this stuff seriously. You're going out without any kind of personal protection. You're touching everything. You're hugging your friends. You're handshaking, sharing cigarettes, dropping cigarettes on the ground, picking it up off the ground, putting it in your mouth, sharing it with your friends. That is scuzzy. People walk their dogs around here and they don't pick up after them. Do you want to put something on that filthy ground in your mouth? And people do it. People do it out my window. And they share their bottle of liquor with their friends. And God only knows where they hide their crack rocks and their heroin. Oh, that's going on. Business as usual. Yeah. And I can't leave you. You can't just leave and find another place to live, and certainly not now. And then if we end up, and if I end up moving, maybe it's close to summertime, then places charge summertime rents. And anyhow, when you live with roommates, moving is a very, very complicated thing. And I have too much crap, and I don't have a vehicle. And anyway, so I can't do anything. And I found out that I can't really go out of state to get the dental work that I need, because if I do, I was told by the people I live with that I won't be welcome back in, because what if I get exposed to the virus? I can't bring it to them, which I understand. And I can't stay indefinitely the place that I was offered to stay in Washington, D.C., because I could only stay there a week, because that person lives in like a Section 8 kind of housing where they would get in a lot of trouble if they had somebody there. And the last thing I want to do is expose them to eviction. Plus, I don't know. Nobody I know has been tested. What if I was asymptomatic, but I had it, and my friend had a weakened immune system, and I gave it to him? I'm not going out of state. I'm staying put. And now that they're encouraging people to put off elective surgeries and things, that means that there are some dentists or hospitals and doctors' offices, places are laying off medical people because they're not getting as much work, because they're telling people not to do things unless absolutely necessary medical-wise. So people are postponing things that really are serious, and you watch it. People are dying as a result. People are not getting diagnostic tests that they need because, we have to save all the medical personnel for the COVID-19 cases. So people with other very serious and maybe more serious things are not getting treated. They're not getting their checkups. Those who are lucky enough to have doctors. It would be nice to have a doctor. God, how many years it's been since I had a doctor? I was not planning on getting personal. This is what's going on in my life. So, I don't want to say I'm screwed, but I'm really not doing well. I don't know what my subscribers want. I don't know what my potential wider audience wants. Now I can't help but feel it's not really the time to be all glamorous and beautiful and worry about that when you've got a pandemic on your hands. Nobody with a lick of sense is going out. When I don't bother getting dressed up when I'm floating around the house. Look, I'm wearing the same um, pajama type fleece lined pants that I wore in the last video. I mean, I would never wear pants in a video unless I was absolutely freezing. I'm hanging around the house. I don't give a fuck. I don't know what the future is for my channel because I don't know what content to make. I would really welcome some input from whoever does end up watching this. Because if I had an idea of what people wanted, the more different weird subjects I film, the more fragmented and less niched down my channel is going to be, and that's supposedly bad for channel growth. And yet I've filmed about certain subjects that I thought were different, and yet they sometimes have done really well. So I really don't know going forward what kind of content to make for you guys. And if I get some ideas from you, I mean, I have a notebook full of ideas. Where did I put it? No, it's underneath a bunch of stuff. Big, thick notebook, like this thick. But that said, I don't know. My heart's not in it. I just don't know what to make that people want because it hurts me to go through the time and effort planning something out, filming, doing whatever editing I may or may not do, looking for a title, putting it out there, and hardly anybody bothers to watch it. What's my motivation here? If it's like trying to have an intelligent conversation with my cats. Granted, that's better than talking to the wall, because at least a cat will meow and maybe rub against your leg. But if you don't get any input, and like I'll check my channel stats a couple times a day, especially considering that the day job things that I do, I'm not doing very well on them, so I have time on my hands, and I check day after day, and there's no comments at all, and I'm thinking, what the hell? If people are all stuck at home and they're watching videos, what channels are they watching? They're watching my shit. And I don't want to be all whiny and bitchy and snivelly. That's not an attractive look. Well, part of me kind of doesn't care anymore. If it's attractive, if it's ugly, tell me I'm ugly, big deal. I won't post a comment, I'm sure. But how can you please people if you don't know what they want? So I really do welcome you guys giving me some ideas. What I do not welcome is people getting naggy and judgmental and saying things like, oh, why can't you get a dentist or anything? I've already said the reasons why that is such a complicated situation. I already said that as long as I found a dentist who did dental surgery, which means extractions, who staffed the hospital, then I would just go to that hospital, go to the ER, and get it taken care of. But, oh, wait, we got the coronavirus now. And so does this mean I'm not going to be able to get the treatment that I need that is not elective, that I was supposed to have done back on the 4th of July when I was in Washington, D.C., and I deliberately went to Washington taking a chance because it meant something to me. I love my country. I love my president. I love Washington, D.C. I love the summertime. I love a chance to get the hell out of Atlantic City. But I know I need this work done, and I can't seem to find a place to get it here. Now, if I was in Los Angeles, just go to County General USC, Yankee. They take care of it, and I have insurance. That's the thing is I have insurance. But it's not worth, my toilet paper is worth more than my insurance is. And if the toilet paper runs out, I go get some corn cobs and scrubby. I don't know what people want. How can we content creators keep people happy if we don't get input from them? Okay, so if you guys, be nice, give me some ideas for things that you would like me to cover that isn't just the same old bullshit. Because if I'm bored, it's like anybody, it's like a girl dancing on stage. If she's just going through the motions because all she cares about is the dollars and her eyes are kind of dead and maybe she's drugged out of her mind, that's not going to have the impact that somebody who's enthusiastic, who is fun, who didn't take herself too seriously, who just loved the music and loved the joy of performing. Whether you are dancing on stage or playing music on stage, or whether you're recording music, or whether you're making YouTube videos of any kind, the common denominator should be that you love what you're doing and you have a joy and an enthusiasm. And people can tell. People can tell sincerity. People can tell honesty. Well, not always. People can tell enthusiasm. And if you're just going through the motions, people can tell. I don't want to just throw something together and my heart's not in it just to have something up there, but I also don't want to take a week or two or a month off because I am depressed because this coronavirus thing has got everybody on edge, where roommates are fighting. I got into a big fight with my brother the other day. Oh my God, I thought he was going to hit me. He's got a violent temper anyway. You know, he slammed me down bodily on my kitchen floor, like last year. For 6 months, I landed on my shoulder. My brother is 6 feet tall. Okay, I am not. My brother weighs 220 pounds. I weigh between 110 and 115, okay? And I am nowhere near 6 feet tall. So can you imagine a big, strong man body slamming a female? That's what happens. And through the years, he's stepped on me, he's kicked me, called me every euphemism for prostitute in the book, even in front of my mother. This is the kind of emotional and physical abuse I've had to deal with on and off. Well, emotional abuse since I was 19. Physical abuse probably at least for the past 15 years. I am not exaggerating. And I never intended on going public with this, but this is what's going on. And I've already been told that if I ever were to call, and my mother has witnessed certain things, and do you think she would say something, speak up to defend me? Hell no. But you know, what do you expect a little old lady to do? She doesn't need distress. She's got heart issues. But, you know, when she witnesses things and she doesn't speak up, she doesn't defend me. You know, I mean, so, and I would leave in a heartbeat if I had a better place to go. You know, but in the same token, I don't want to leave my mother because I love her and somebody has to take care of her. And I believe, just like I was here for my father in his last years and everything, and at least my conscience is right on there. I gave up a very happy, not particularly successful, but a very happy Hollywood showbiz career when 9/11 happened and I ended up back here because I didn't want to be on the street anymore. I'm glad and blessed that I got time to be with my family. But that said, I don't feel that I'm really accomplishing much out here. And so I found YouTube and I love being a YouTuber, but, and this isn't burnout that I'm going through. I know what burnout feels like, and this is more like a temporary depression exacerbated by the COVID-19 crisis, exacerbated by things I see out my window, the stupidity of people around me, the stupidity of some of the people that I unfortunately live with, the emotional abuse, then the bullying on social media, then the apathy on other social media, and even my cats that are supposed to love me unconditionally, I think they love my brother more, and they go down the hall with him and they sleep with him. And so half the time, I'll be ready to film and I'm waiting around for a cat to show up so that I can film because I think my videos really aren't the same without my cats. And you guys may be watching me thinking, what the hell is this bitch complaining about when things could be so much worse? And you're right, things could be so much worse. But it's hard to keep in perspective. It really is. And I don't know where my channel is going to go. I don't want to keep on making whiny, oh, woe is me, give me ideas for my channel videos. I honestly didn't know what I was going to talk about today, except I had an idea that I was going to be talking about the COVID-19 crisis and how it has impacted mental health and how it has put a strain on people's relationships. but there's still so much apathy going on. And anyway, if you guys, whoever does watch this, give me some ideas for what you would like me to cover. I'm not saying I'm going to take your suggestions and actually act on them, but maybe you guys can give me some additional perspective. But please don't just go asking me questions that are going to make me feel bad about myself. Like, don't ask me questions about my roommates and my home situation and why don't you do this or why don't you have that, because that's not going to help me any. It's just going to make me feel bad about myself. And if you're going to be too critical, I'm not going to post a comment because I'm getting beaten up enough by emotionally by certain people and I don't need more of it. But if maybe I get an additional perspective by some people who are kind, who can give me some ideas for what you would like to see that maybe would be worth watching and maybe people would like, because I don't see the point of making content that's not interesting enough for people to watch. And I want my channel to grow, not at the expense of my integrity. I don't want to sell out and do something that sucks just because it's popular. I don't want to do something that my heart's not in. I don't want to do something that's not true to myself. And yet I don't want to get so personal that I feel that I've said things that I can't take back. Well, the gate's already open maybe on that. But I would like to continue to be that bright, shiny light spot of YouTube. But at the same token, I always not goodness and gumdrops and sunshine in my world. And I don't like pretending. And yeah, and like the work, and I feel stupid about, and I feel guilty about complaining about my work situation because I'm sure that many people who are watching, maybe you guys lost your jobs, maybe you got laid off, maybe you can't work from home, or maybe you're working in one of the high risk professions like the healthcare industry, and maybe the time that you do have to watch videos, maybe you only want to see positive things and you don't want to see somebody whining about how their life sucks when there are people in the hospital that are hanging on for dear life with intubation and with breathing tubes and all kinds of stuff with this COVID thing. And there's people that are having serious medical things that they know they have because they have access to a doctor and they are being treated. And I need to keep things in perspective, and I know that there's always somebody that's doing worse. But yeah, let me know what you guys would like to see because I can use fresh perspective on things. And if you are still under a rock and you don't realize that there is a serious virus going on and you insist on swapping bodily fluids and hugging and holding hands and acting like a fucking idiot, I don't know what to say. Sometimes I don't want to say I wish that it would hit here hard and teach them a lesson because unfortunately those aren't the people that are probably going to be hurt. It's going to be their parents and the old people. And I worry about my mother. I wish my brother would stop going out and he's hanging on my mother and stuff. And just so much stupidity I see. It's not necessarily with some of the agencies that help people around here because they are making an effort. And the police are making an effort. And sometimes they do get on the megaphones. And when people are hanging out too much on the main drag and they're all up on each other, I have seen them say things. Maybe we do need a total state shutdown. Maybe we need a federal shutdown, but I understand we need to get our economy working again. Our president is right. We need to find a balance between reviving our economy, and yet we have to really exhibit a lot of self-control so that the more that we practice social distancing now and exhibit some kind of self-control and stop being so selfish, then we will be able to get our economy back and get people back to work and maybe salvage the summer. But if people continue to fuck up and act like fools, that's just going to delay what we need for our country to recover. And I still stay glued to the news. I don't want to say I'm addicted to it, but it's exciting and scary. And I choose to remain cued into the news rather than to be ignorant. A lot of people, it's too painful to watch and they just watch other things. They are avoiding what's really going on because the truth is too painful. And I would rather be aware of the painful truth, even if it hurts me emotionally, because I want to know what's going on. So, that said, thank you if you've actually been watching this whole time. I'm now past 44 minutes. If you like this video, feel free to give it a thumbs up. If you like me and my content, I'd love to have you subscribe. If things are all going as planned, I should continue to keep my 3-day-a-week posting schedule. Hopefully I won't get too depressed and just say fuck it, because I know if I take a break, that's not good for our channel and everything. Please, in the comments, give me some ideas for what matters to you. Because I don't want to keep on making content that nobody's watching. It doesn't make any sense. And I would rather not post at all. If I'm just going to post things that maybe only 20 people are going to watch. Not that you 20 people aren't important, because you are. But it's getting to me. Let me know what kind of content will be meaningful, what will touch your heart, what will enlighten you, what will make you happy, what will make you think, what will make you smile, maybe what will make you laugh. But please give me some ideas, because what I'm doing so far, I don't think it's what people want. My statistics, what I see in YouTube, we give all our creators, we have statistics, let us know our reach, click-through rates, all kinds of stuff. And I don't see that there's a whole lot of interest. So let me know what will be of interest to you guys. With that, please stay safe out there. It may not be a big bad wolf, but it is a big bad virus. Stay home. Please. Thank you. Bye.